I don't know if it's going to rain or not. Hey cats, what's happening? Welcome to my man cave. I got a project going on here. If you watched my last video, you see that the mice got into my tractor and chewed one of the spark plug wires off. So while I was waiting for the parts to come in, I ordered the parts off Amazon, and then I thought, well, I'll just wait for the parts to come in. You can't just buy the plug wires with this. It comes with the plug wires hardwired right into the coil. So I had to buy the set. It's close to 40 bucks. But while I was waiting for that, I pulled the mower deck off, and I saw that on the spindles that turn for the mower blades, the two outside ones were missing the grease fittings, which are better known as zerk fittings. So I thought, well, I should probably go pick up some zerk fittings. And I thought, you know, I just stop at the auto parts store because it's kind of a common thing. I mean, a lot of equipment uses zerk fittings, whether they're, you know, and some of the older cars had them. I don't know about the newer vehicles today, but the older cars had the zerk fittings. So I went to the auto parts store, pretty well-known big chain auto parts store, and I took the one grease fitting that was still good out, and I took that with me. And I walked up to the counter, and this young man was there, and I said, yeah, I need one of these. I need a couple of these grease fittings. He looked at it. What's that off of? I said, well, it's off a mower deck from a riding lawnmower. Oh, we don't carry parts for riding lawnmowers. I said, it's a grease fitting. It's a very common thing that's used by all kinds of equipment, including automobiles. He looks at it. What is it? It's a grease fitting. So he pulls it up on the computer, grease fittings, and it pops up right away that they have in stock like multi-packs that had all different sizes of grease fittings. Or that's the first thing that came up there. And he goes, well, yeah, we've got this a multi-pack for like $13. And I said, well, let me look at that. I thought, you know, I gotta have grease fittings, whatever you got, just show me. Well, he takes off, and he's going up and down every aisle, and I was looking down all the aisles, and I couldn't find him anywhere. And he goes back to his computer, and he looks again, and then he goes over to like aisle 3, and he's looking. Scratches his head, goes back to his computer. Then he runs over to aisle 4, and he's looking. He can't find anything. Well, in the meantime, I just said, I'm going to look by myself, because if it shows that they have them in stock on the computer, they got to be in the store somewhere. Well, I think about the same time we both were in the area where the motor oil is, and it's just like rows and rows of different brands of motor oil, and right in the middle was this little rack. And of course they had these packages of grease fittings for like $5. You know, kid's going to tell me he doesn't have anything like that, and there they are. So I bought the a little package of grease fittings, and I went to install them on. Now this one went on pretty easy. That was the one that I pulled out, so I just put a new one on there. This one wouldn't thread. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't thread a new one in there. You could see there was threads in there, but somehow they got buggered up. So I don't want to leave it. I mean, if you gotta grease those spindles, you gotta put grease in them. Now, I'll be the first one to admit I don't keep up the best maintenance on this tractor. I mean, a lot of times I just go out, fill it with gas, go out and mow the grass. When I'm done, I back it in the shed, I lock the shed up, and I go about my other business. It's like, who's got time for that? But, you know, if you neglect equipment like this, it eventually falls into disrepair, especially the mower deck. So I had greased it this spring, but there was grease fittings on there. I don't know how both the grease fittings disappeared, but they weren't broke off. They had unscrewed and came out. So this time when I put the new ones on, I put some thread locker on each one and then tighten them up, so hopefully they won't vibrate out again. But anyway, this one wouldn't come out, so that made me another trip into town. I went to Harbor Freight and I bought this cool little tap and die set, and it had the 1/4 inch size that I needed, and they're 21-piece tap and die set. This slides open, and it's got the taps and the dies and the little tools for using them. So, you know, I've had a need for that before and didn't have it, so I thought, what, and you know how much this was? Like $10. So to me, $10 is $10, but if you got to have a tool, don't beat around the bush, just go get it. And then I have this little tube of thread locker that comes in handy too. So the zerk fittings were all replaced on the mower deck. The mower deck's all cleaned up. I got to pump some grease into it, and that'll be ready to go. But before I put it back on, I wanted to finish cleaning up the rest of this stuff. Now, in the meantime, my parts did come. So you'll see I also got some motor oil here for the change the oil. I think it only takes 2 quarts, but I bought 3 quarts. And in here we've got the brand new you got the plug wire and the coil, so I'll have to put those on. Not too hard putting these on, but the biggest problem is going to be, and it's not a problem, but just taking the shroud off and cleaning everything up. So that'll be next. But the first thing I want to do before I do that is take the battery out and clean that up and disconnect the battery before I start messing around with the coils and stuff. And look at the mouse nest down in there. Good grief. Yeah, like I said, this thing needs a little bit of maintenance. I got the battery all cleaned up good. I cleaned the terminal heads off, and so that'll be ready to go back in when I'm done. But in the meantime, I think I'm going to get the shop vac and suck that stuff out of there. Well, I was going to change the oil on this thing, and then I see, which I didn't realize, it actually has an oil filter. So I'm going to have to order an oil filter for this too. And then, it looks like the drain plug right there to drain the oil, which is going to run all over the side of the motor there. So I'll have to figure out how to deal with that when I get to that point. Yeah. Always, you know, never easy, always something else. But I got a good start out on it anyways. So anyways, yesterday was a big day. Busy all day because it was homecoming for my wife. She was discharged from the rehab facility, and I had to be there in the morning, meet with the people there, get her paper signed, and then loaded her in the car and hauled her home. So she's in the house. She's still recovering. She needs a lot of help. I can't leave her in there for very long, so I just come out and do what I can, maybe a half hour, maybe 45 minutes out here, and then I got to go in to make sure she's okay, because she's very dependent on me at this point in every way. So as you can see, I got a lot more to do here, but not enough time to do it today. Maybe tomorrow or the next day I'll piddle around with it and get a little more done, and we can get it back in running shape again. Well, thanks for watching today. I know it wasn't anything about motorcycles, and actually it's kind of a crappy day out anyways. It hasn't rained yet, but it looks like it's going to rain any minute. So for now the bike stays sitting because I got too many other responsibilities here. And not to mention that my mom, who's been living with my brother in Youngstown, Ohio, my brother and his wife have been taking care of her. And the other day my mom fell from her walker, and she broke like 4 ribs and broke her shoulder, and so she's currently in the hospital in recovery. And you know, if you've ever had broken ribs, that's a lot of pain. There's a lot of pain to go through with that. So my brother and his wife are taking care of her, and they're trying to rally the troops to get some help to help with Mom. But as you know, my hands are full here with my wife, so there's not really much I can do. I can't leave V here alone. She needs me. She needs my help. Well, thanks for watching the video today, guys. Give me a thumbs up if you liked the video. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to my videos. I'd like to have you along for this ride. And I think for now, we'll just continue working on this thing until we get it put back together and in top running shape again. Catch y'all later. And boy, I got a real mess to clean up down there, don't I?